Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's your girl Sharita, the Behavior and Literacy Strategist, coming at you from the Morgan Unlimited Growth Institute. It's a wonderful Sunday morning. I just been out here working in my garden. I know I got the tabletop garden going on, and it's a lot of exciting things going on. I have a quick topic I wanted to talk to y'all about, and it is your child's behavior normal? We're going to discuss the word normal really quickly, okay? Um, because moms, we hear about this. We hear this word a lot describing our children, and when we hear, "Oh, that's normal at this age," whether it be behavior or whether it be difficulties with their reading. I was talking to a mom yesterday during a consultation, and she want her daughter's letters to she wanted her to write them correctly, and she was writing them backwards. And she was told, this is normal at this age. This is normal at this age. What is normal? Is your child's behavior normal? Are you hearing that word normal? The behavior, if there's a behavior that you don't like, you don't think is good that your child is doing. You mom now, remember how I always say, you're the expert on your child. And people are saying, oh, that behavior is normal at this age. Tantrums are normal at this age, or teenagers rebel at this age. This is normal, okay? Or this is normal for kids to write their letters backwards at this age, or this is normal. What? This is my question to you. What is your standard? What do you want your child to be able to accomplish? Every single time I meet with moms during the consultations, that's one of the before even the consultations, we're just talking. When they send me a message in the chat, and they tell me about their child and their biggest concerns, I ask them, what do you want your child to accomplish? Here we focus on growth at the Morgan Unlimited Growth Institute. We focus on growth, okay? So when people, and this is what I told mom yesterday when I was talking to her, when people say, professionals even, when they say this is normal at this age, what they really mean is this is common. Normal means common. What does that mean? That means that a lot of kids are doing it. That means that they see it happening with a lot of children. Okay? Does that make it the best thing for your child? Okay? Here we customize everything. Everything has to be customized. As a mom, we have to make sure that how we raising our children is customized to them and to us. So it's not about what everybody else is doing. It's not about what other kids are doing nowadays. It's not about the way that kids are being raised nowadays. Okay? It's not about that. It's about your expectation, what you want your child to accomplish. You focus on growth, then it doesn't matter what it is. If your child is focused on growth and you're focused on growth, they can grow out of that behavior. They can start to write their letters correctly. They can stop throwing tantrums. They can be more respectful. If they're teenagers, they're just going to mouth off and slam doors. That's not something that we should be accepting as moms. Here's the question. Is this behavior, or is this way of writing, I'm using those two examples, is it serving your child? Are they growing? Are they becoming more responsible? Are they having a self party? The theme of the month, behavior theme of the month in almost all my groups, except for the my little bitty babies, kindergarten and first grade babies, the theme is have a self party. Okay? That means self awareness, self control, self responsibility, and self discipline. If your child thinks that every time they get upset or they can't get their way, it's appropriate to throw a tantrum, and they get what they want when they throw a tantrum, is that teaching them to have a self party? And you may say, oh, with little babies, they don't know better, right? 2 years old, they don't know better. Well, that's our job. We're supposed to teach them better, okay? Because 2 years old can turn into 5 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old. I've been working with children with behavior and literacy challenges for years, okay? I was a mental health specialist, working with children at partial hospitalization programs. So that means that they came from school and they came straight to us, and they had a lot of behavior issues, and they were throwing tantrums at different ages. Okay, was there something wrong with them, or were they never taught and that this is unacceptable, and they never got the right structure in place? And then it wasn't corrected. Okay, so once we corrected it, okay, and it went, that's all you have to do. You have to correct it. Now it's not an issue anymore. Okay, so teenagers um, rebelling. Okay, you can want to be independent. You can assert your independence. Toddlers asserting their independence. What do they mean? What does that really mean? To me, that means you want to experience more things. You want to grow. You want to be more hands-on. You want to think for yourself. There are appropriate ways to do that, and we as moms can nurture that. But in no way that should there be also disrespect, right? So is that teaching our child the right thing, to allow them to be disrespectful because they want to assert their independence? No. You can learn how to do things on your own, but in a respectful way, and still respecting your mom. So when people say, researchers say, or this is the way kids are nowadays, or at this developmental stage, when we start talking like that, and believe me, I was in a medical field when I was 18 years old. I was an ER technician, but that's another life, okay? I'm talking about, after I graduated from college, I was in the mental health field for years, and I was a special education teacher as well, and what I learned with kids is that they don't have to act that way. They're acting that way because they, for two main reasons. One, they've been getting away with it for a while, and this becomes their habit. This is the way that I do things. If I don't want to do my chores, I'm going to throw a tantrum, or I'm going to frustrate mom enough so that she starts to scream and get upset, and the next thing you know, she's doing it for me, right? So that's one thing. They get away with it, and the other main reason is that they always get the same response. There's a purpose to it. Okay, they have an audience. Remember, I always talk to you about the three things to look out for negative attention-seeking behavior. Right? Is number one, is form of communication. Number two, it has a purpose. Number three, it needs an audience. Right? So moms, as you learn to master your child's negative attention-seeking behavior patterns, which is actually the behavior cycle, and your role in it, these behaviors start to change. Okay? So I'm talking to you from a professional background, but I'm also talking to you as a mom. And that's first and foremost, because too many of our children are falling behind in school. And too many of our children are not reading on grade level. Too many of our children are acting out, and the result are not focused, and the result they end up on medication. And they get diagnosed and they end up on medication, but is that teaching them to have a self party? Okay, so I'm not here to talk to you about medication, because that's not my expertise, but I'm a very solution focused person. So whatever the solution is you got going on right now for your child, is it working? Okay, are they growing? Do you want your child to be normal? Do you want your child to be doing what everyone else is doing, or do you want your child to grow? Do you want you see something that's problematic, or you see something that is not serving you or your child, and you want that out of your life? You have that right. You have that right. Okay. And speaking with now, if I was teaching kindergarten, I did do that for a little bit too. Let's say I was teaching kindergarten, and I was working with some kids, and they were writing their numbers and letters backwards. Okay, if I was in that classroom, that would have to be corrected ASAP. You know why I say that? Because I have students coming into my program right now who are in the 5th grade writing their numbers and letters backwards. Okay, so moms, you don't have to accept the standards of the schools, of what the research says, right? of what everybody think is normal, right? You don't have to accept that. You're a mom, and you are an expert in your child. You are the number one expert on your child. So if there's something that you feel that your child needs to grow from, then they need to grow from that. And if it's not handled now, and we take a back seat to our children's education, and allow the experts or the professionals, and I'm not nothing against the professionals, because like I said, I work from home now. I'm a coach now, right? And I combine behavior and literacy. But so it's nothing against professionals. That's not what I'm doing here. What I'm doing is highlighting you as a mother. Okay, you gave birth to this child. You know that your child's best, and you're the most invested in your child's success. So you always see things. We see everything. Okay, you know. And I'm very doozy with my own children and my students. My students like, yeah, you like the CIA? Yeah, I'm all in your business. Okay, and our kids need that. They don't need us to take a back seat and just rely on the experts who don't spend as much time with our children, who don't know our children as much, or who don't have that mentality that you are reading below grade level. That has to be corrected ASAP. There's no way you leaving this class and going to the next grade still not reading on grade level. Okay? So if you don't have that going on in your life, then that means that that's you. Okay? That means that that's you. All right? Because every child should have two teachers, one at school and one at home. Okay? You're more specialized. All right? All right? So your child does not, whatever everyone says is normal, that's okay for them. What is normal for you? Your standards need to get up here. And believe me, if you raise the standards for your child and you put the right things in place and the right structure, you tweak this, you tweak that, you set everything up correctly, your child will rise to meet your standards. However, if we have our standards down here because we're so busy listening to what everyone else says is normal, and we say, oh, okay, I guess it's me. I guess it's me then, okay? When we do that, we lower the expectations, and then our children will never operate above those. They're going to operate lower. We can't afford that. So we can't afford to have low expectations too, okay? So whatever the school is saying, whatever the professionals are saying, whatever the research is saying, that's normal for everybody, you get customized and you get specific and focus on that. And this is, I'm a person of growth myself. I'm always customizing things for myself, okay? The whole reason, I'm gonna show y'all in a second, the whole reason this garden is here, y'all, is because I wanted to get healthier, and I wanted to make sure that I can go out in the garden and I know where my food is coming from, okay? Because, I wanted to improve my own health, especially with COVID, right? So I could just go along with what everybody else is doing, but I did something that I think will work best for me. And that's been over and over and over in my life, okay? So this is your life. You gave birth to your child. Whatever you feel is normal, that's what the real deal Holyfield is, okay? That's just how I talk. My kids be laughing at me, and my students too. They all laugh at me, all right? So I'm just gonna show y'all real quick what I've been doing this morning. I've been actually feeding my plants. Let me see if I can turn this around. Little backstory real quick, and I put some, actually, this is a smoothie, very nutritious smoothie powder that I put on top of my plants to water, to feed them a little bit, okay, because I'm a very natural person. Whatever is in my kitchen, that's what goes in my plants, all right? So, quick story, I had a problem with groundhogs. If you look, you can see that's where they were living, and it was a huge problem. They would come in, they would eat my plants as soon as they start growing. And then I was trying to figure out what to do about this, and I decided to put all my plants on top of tables. So put them on top of tables, problem solved. I'm saying that real quick because here is a eggplant. I love eggplant. I'm saying all this because my neighbor, I have to talk quiet because she probably can't hear me. My neighbor was having the same problems, and I was like, we'll figure it out. Whatever we need to do, we'll figure it out. And she said, there's nothing you can do. Now, when I got clipped that plant. The leaves are yellowing a little bit. It's my tomato plant going crazy. I have a couple of them. Whenever there's a problem, I never think can't. And I teach my students the same thing. I don't allow them to even use certain phrases. I can't do it. This is hard. I have a problem. I'm distracted. It's because of my ADHD. There's some tomatoes in there too, robbing all the nutrients from this green bean plant that was doing good, but tomato plant took over. It's because of my ADHD. These are things that kids hear over the years, and they believe it. So I do not allow them to think like that or speak like that. There's no way that you're going to say you can't do something. There's no way you're going to even talk about ADHD, because I don't care about ADHD. I know that's not politically correct, but I don't allow my students to think like that or talk like that or see that as something that can hinder their progress, and raise the standards. I'm very, very, how do you say? I'm very, very, I have high standards